There are moments in life that don't announce themselves. No warning, no sign, no time to prepare. They just arrive. Usually at 2 in the morning. Usually in the last place you expected. The bus station on the edge of Millfield was empty that night. The kind of empty that echoes. Flickering lights overhead. The smell of cold concrete and burnt coffee from a vending machine nobody used. She walked in at 2:07 a.m. Her name was Gloria. 58 years old, nurse for 34 years, just finished a double shift that had lasted 16 hours. She sat down on the bench nearest the door, closed her eyes, and exhaled the kind of breath that carries more than air. That's when she noticed him. He was sitting at the far end of the station. A young man, early 20s maybe, backpack between his feet, jacket too thin for the cold. He wasn't looking at his phone. He wasn't reading. He wasn't doing anything at all. He was just sitting there staring at the floor with the kind of stillness that isn't peace. Gloria had been a nurse for 34 years. She knew the difference between someone who was tired and someone who had stopped caring whether morning came. She knew it immediately, and she had a choice. The easy thing would have been to look away. She was exhausted. Her feet ached. Her shift had been brutal. She had her own weight to carry. Most people would have looked away. Most people do. But Gloria stood up, crossed the empty station, and sat down next to him. Not close enough to crowd him, just close enough to say without words, "I see you." She didn't say anything at first. She just sat there. A minute passed, then another. The flickering light above them buzzed quietly. Then she said, without looking at him, "Long night?" He didn't answer right away. Then, very quietly, something like that. She nodded slowly. Like that answer told her everything. "Mine too," she said. 16 hours. Lost a patient at the end of it. He looked up then. For the first time. "I'm sorry," he said. She looked at him gently. "Me too," she said. "That one's going to stay with me a while." Before we continue, if you believe one person can change everything for another, subscribe to the Human Files right now. These are the stories that almost never get told. They sat in silence again. But it was different now. It was the kind of silence two people share when they have both been somewhere the other understands. Then he said it. So quietly she almost missed it. "I wasn't going to go home tonight." Gloria didn't flinch. She didn't gasp. She didn't reach for her phone. She just turned slowly and looked at him the way you look at someone you are not going to leave. "What changed your mind?" she asked. He was quiet for a long time. "You sat down," he said finally. She stayed with him for 3 hours. Not counseling him. Not fixing him. Not performing kindness for anyone to see. Just sitting. Talking when he wanted to talk. Silent when he needed silence. She bought him coffee from the vending machine nobody used. He told her about his brother. She told him about her daughter. At 5 a.m., when the first bus came, she made sure he got on it. She watched until the doors closed and the bus disappeared into the gray morning light. Then she sat back down and cried for a little while. Because some things have to go somewhere. She never told anyone what happened that night. Not her colleagues. Not her family. Not even her closest friend. It wasn't her story to share. She went home. She slept for 4 hours. She went back to work. But 3 weeks later, an envelope arrived at the hospital addressed to the nurse at the Millfield bus station. Inside was a single handwritten card. It said, "I have a reason now. Thank you for sitting down." No name. Just those words. Gloria read it 4 times. Then she folded it carefully and put it in the pocket closest to her heart. She still carries it. Every shift. Every 16-hour day. Every time a patient is lost and the weight becomes almost too much, she reaches into that pocket. And she remembers that sometimes the most important thing a person can do is not look away. Her colleagues have noticed something different about her in the years since that night. She always sits with patients who are alone. She always stays a little longer than she has to. She always notices the ones who have gone quiet. When asked why, she just smiles. "Someone taught me," she says. Nobody knows his name. Nobody knows where he is now or what his life looks like today. But somewhere out there is a person who is alive because a woman who had every reason to look away chose to sit down instead. That is the whole story. No headlines. No ceremony. No reward. Just a flickering light in an empty bus station at 2 in the morning. And a woman who decided that one more person mattered enough to stay. Because they did. They always do. This is the Human Files. Stories that almost went untold. People who almost went unseen. Subscribe, share, and tell us in the comments. Has a stranger ever changed your life in a single moment?